My dad is a shaman. My mom is a spirit medium.
Me?
I can foresee the misfortunes that will befall a person within the next week, but I never inherited my dad's gift for actually fixing those misfortunes. Recently, my dad got a phone call from an old friend. Apparently, the man's son had his life stolen by someone using dark magic, and the friend was begging my dad to come help. Dad insisted on bringing me along to train my abilities, but the moment we stepped off the train, he vanished into thin air.
1.
Uncle Ray, I've been calling my dad so many times I drained his battery. It was exactly 11 at night, 5 hours since we'd gotten off the train. The crowd at the station had cycled through several times over. Still no sign of my dad. Dad and I had taken the train from a small town down south, 5 hours, 13 stops. I had no idea which stop he disappeared at. Uncle Ray let out a deep sigh. His weathered face looked even more worn than usual. Jess, honey, come on home first. He loaded my luggage onto his motorcycle and drove me north along the highway, out to a modest house on the edge of town. The cold wind cut at my face the whole way. It was 3 degrees colder out here than in the city. Puddles on the ground had frozen over into thin sheets of ice. The moment I stepped inside, I saw the boy lying in bed. His face was a grayish blue. If not for the faint, shallow rise of his chest, I'd have thought he was already gone. The boy was only 10 years old. Uncle Ray said a week ago he'd been perfectly fine, ate dinner, went to sleep, and never woke up. The day after dinner a week ago, that meant the boy had been in a coma for 6 days. That's right. Aunt Fran's voice broke with grief. We've taken Cody to every hospital we could find. None of the doctors can figure out what's wrong with him. No warning. Sudden coma. Bluish complexion. 6 days. Could it really be what my dad always talked about, someone stealing the boy's life? If that was the case, Cody had only 1 day left. If we didn't find whoever had taken his life and get it back within that window, Cody would be gone for good. Uncle Ray, could you bring me Cody's clothes and backpack from the day before he fell into the coma? Of course, of course. Aunt Fran jumped to her feet. Cody's backpack held nothing but textbooks and pencils. His pockets were spotless. Something wasn't adding up. I thought for a moment, then reached into my shoulder bag and pulled out a small glass jar of goat blood powder. I tipped a pinch into my palm and blew. This is an old technique passed down through my family, fighting darkness with darkness. You drain the blood of an aged, dying black goat, dry it in the sun for 49 days until it becomes powder. Then you pour the powder into a copper brazier, burn ritual paper over it for 10 days and 10 nights. The result is far more potent than fresh rooster blood. The powder dissolved into the air. Uncle Ray and Aunt Fran watched me with taut faces, mouths half open like they wanted to ask something but were afraid to interrupt. Cody's life has been stolen, I said bluntly, because there was no time to waste. The problem is, I can't find what was used to steal it anywhere in your house. Think carefully. The day before Cody fell into the coma, did he pick anything up off the ground? Or did a stray black dog or black cat start following him for no reason? The couple went pale as sheets. Aunt Fran stumbled, nearly fell, and then burst into tearful, furious sobs. Who could do something so vile, stealing another person's life just to drag their own miserable existence out longer? My Cody. Uncle Ray's eyes went red. He blew his nose hard. I'm away at the construction site most of the time. Fran works at the textile factory, always on shift. Cody, we just haven't been paying enough attention to Cody.
All right.
I understood. There was no time. My dad was missing. I reached for my phone charger to call my mom, only to find her line was dead too. Both of them, unreachable, like they'd planned it. Were they actually trying to make me handle this on my own? Unlikely. I had a creeping feeling my dad was in some kind of real trouble. I looked at the two of them sobbing their hearts out and made up my mind. Deal with Cody's situation first. There are 3 methods for stealing someone's life force. The simplest is to soak red thread or a red envelope in the thief's own blood, wrap coins in the thread, stuff money in the envelope, and drop it somewhere for an unsuspecting person to pick up. Life stolen this way doesn't last long, and it won't even work on someone with a strong enough constitution. The second method involves targeting a specific victim, then using dark magic to direct a stray cat or dog to carry the curse to them. The third method is the most involved. You need the victim's birth date and time, plus something that belongs to them. Then you perform the ritual to transfer their life force completely. Cody's personal item would have been easy to obtain. His birth information, though. Uncle Ray, who else knows Cody's birth date and time? Just me and his grandma, Aunt Fran answered. That can't be right. Think harder. Has Cody ever been in an accident? Had someone read his fortune, or visited a church or temple for a blessing? Aunt Fran was quiet for a long moment, then shook her head. She said they'd been too busy working to ever bother with things like fortune tellers or blessings. In that case, the only other place that would have Cody's full birth information was the hospital. Just as that thought occurred to me, Aunt Fran's dull eyes suddenly lit up. Miss Jess, 10 years ago, when I was giving birth to Cody, there was a woman in the same ward going through labor at the same time. When she was being discharged, she said to me, "Our children were born at the same moment. I hope you'll help me if I ever need it." She went to an old wooden wardrobe and rummaged through it, pulling out a small red box. Inside was a deep green jade bracelet. When I had Cody, we owed the hospital a huge amount. That woman paid off all the bills for me, and she gave me this bracelet. But I didn't even know her. I've never seen her again since. I took the bracelet and examined it closely. The dark energy swirling inside the jade was nearly spent, which meant Cody's life was nearly at its end. Of course, a kind gesture made years ago, hiding something sinister underneath. I suddenly realized Cody's life had been targeted for 10 years, maybe longer.